Hi there. In this video I'm going to show you how to replace the screen and the home button on a Lenovo ZUK Z1 mobile phone. First thing that I want to get out of the way, you cannot replace the home button without taking out the screen. So this button is not working for a few years already, but now the screen is also cracked, so it has come the time to replace both of them. Okay, to do this, obviously buy this thing, a screen. I do not know if it's original or just compatible. I don't have the glue that goes around it, as far as I know. I wasn't able to source it anywhere, so hopefully I'm able to keep the one that's already in here. Yeah, so that's that. Then I have the little home button right here. I will do my best to put links in the description for all of this, and you need one of these cheap tools. I will also put a link in the description for it, and I just powered on the phone by mistake, so the image is actually good, but what we have damaged here is the digitizer. The problem is that on this particular phone, and honestly on most phones these days, it's impossible for you at home to simply change the top layer, because these things are actually optically bonded, the digitizer to the display underneath. So yeah, we need to change it, the whole thing anyway, and it's easier to change the whole thing obviously. So let me make sure I power this thing off, and I will start in high speed to remove this back. It has clips all around and a tiny bit of glue from what I remember, but yeah, not a lot. To do this, you also need a screwdriver set. This has simple Phillips screws, so I will put a link in the description. And yeah, sadly you need to take out all the covers, also the battery itself, because the flex foils are under the battery. So at this particular moment we are simply undoing every single screw that we see around this thing, because anyway that's where we will end up in the end. So let's do this in high speed. First level of plastic cover is undone. What I need to do now is disconnect the battery right here, and you can pull on these tabs to get the battery out, but I don't have another of these tapes, so I might try and pry it out. This is a replacement battery. These are already reused, so I'm expecting them not to hold too well. And this thing again, I'm going to try and peel it off from the battery and somehow or I could actually try and take the battery plus this thing in one go, but obviously already disconnected. Yeah, I will see about that. Not really sure for the moment. You see that missing part? That it is what an idiot does when he pulls on the wrong element. In this case, the white part of the connector unlatches. Luckily, I don't think that I actually damaged the connection itself, only the cover, the plastic, so we are good, but don't do what stupid me did right here. At this point you actually need to separate this thing, the bumper, all around. Undid all its screws already, so that is done. And you kind of start from one corner and then you do your best to go all around, but make sure you see what exactly attaches to it. So for example, here we have something that's inside of it, this connector right here. So I want to actually undo the flex foil before getting this thing out. Let me get some tweezers in here. And it's out. And I don't think the camera will affect us, but I could also get out the camera, because why not? It's easier to work with less things on this. I'm probably unable to get this out. Yeah, for the moment it's stuck in there. So let's continue with the removal of this bumper, but it still seems stuck in this area. And oh yeah, again, moron moment. So when you are doing something like this, even if you are not sure exactly how it's done, don't force anything. Ta-da! Unlike I forced that connector right there. That was a dumb moment. Anyway, as you can see now, this thing should be coming out. And the last screw that was actually undone, but it was stuck, just popped out. And we have the frame out. And this is one of the clips from the cover. Yeah, they do break, sadly. Realized something else. The connector that I damaged, it's actually for these side buttons. It's not the battery itself. And at this point I need to somehow get the flex foil out of it. That's not going to be simple, but I think I have some smaller tweezers. Let's get to those. Yep, for sure I do. Make sure you do not break it or puncture it. That would be a really bad day for you. And it's released. And you could see that my battery released really easy from this case. Now let me see what else is holding us in place. Weirdly enough, the camera, but why is the camera holding us in place? Isn't it supposed to? Yeah, I think the camera is glued just a tiny bit, so that is why it's still holding us in place. Yeah, I can pry its connector out and deal with it later. And now on the back of this thing we still have these flex foils. One of them already undid itself. So the other one, just a tiny bit of push right in the corner. Yes, I recommend you do this with a plastic tool. Okay, and I have this thing out and I didn't break this EMI tape. But if you want to do it easier, you can break that EMI tape. Shouldn't really matter that much. Okay, at this point I am going to get this speaker out. If I can get it out. Yeah, it's out. And this thing is kind of glued in here, but I would like to remove it if possible. Yeah, it's annoying. Let me see. Yeah, you can get the camera out, just put something underneath it and pull, and it comes out. It has some kind of glue. No, not really. I'm not sure why it stayed in place. Anyway, it's out now, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, we are still fighting with this thing. We need to get this off without actually breaking it, so try to be gentle as much as you can. And what else? We have here a connector. Let me undo it the proper way this time. Come on. Okay, and get this thing out somehow. Yep, and it's out. Nice. And this thing comes here, so I need to get this one out, and comes here, and here we have another connector. So remember, all of these connectors you need to put back. If you forget one of them, this thing will not do something. Depends on what you forget. You might not have the microphone working, or who knows what. Yeah, I'm going to take a better look for the moment. At this point we are left only with the frame and the screen. And yeah, if you could buy directly this thing, it would be a lot easier. So try and search it for it like this. I didn't find it in my country. So what I need to do here, I don't want shards all over my workspace, so I'm going to put some scotch on top of the glass to keep it in one piece as much as possible. Okay, let's get this thing out. Hopefully it doesn't have that much glue. I will use this, which is an old hair dryer that gets really hot. I don't think I need to go to a hot air gun. In my opinion, this gets it hot enough, gets it hot to a point that I cannot really hold it with my hands, so that's enough, in my opinion again. So I don't know, I think I will decide to start from the middle of it, because I'm expecting it to have way less glue in the middle compared to the edges, to the ends. So this is really cracked, so I don't want to start there. This side on the middle should be the go-to place. Yeah, if it works, okay. If not, okay. Already one phone repair shop said no, they are not having it. They don't want to touch this phone. It's quite rare in my country, so they are not used to working on it, and they didn't want to break it. So I have nothing to lose. If I can do it, perfect. If not, All I lose is the money that I paid for this thing. Yeah, bad luck, what can I say. So let's heat it up, and I will use this thing which is really thin. Yes, it's metal, not the greatest of ideas, but it's thin enough that I can get it between the glass and the frame itself, to start just a bit lifting it, so I can get in there the proper tool for the job. This thing is just a tiny bit thicker compared to this. And we are done. I ended up using this thing much more than I should have, but it worked too well. And yes, you can see here the screen completely shattered and destroyed. So yeah, liquid crystal pouring out of it. Anyway, it is what it is. Here is the button with the problem, the home button, and what I'm seeing here that makes me think that my screen is actually a cheap replica. Just look at the capacitive buttons. Come on, focus. They are made with flex foil, and these are directly... Why are you not focusing? Too much reflections. The original ones are directly on the glass. So yeah, this is an aftermarket screen made by who knows who, but if it keeps this phone running for a little bit more, I don't care. So what we clearly need to do is glue the home button on this thing first. And yeah, sadly, I wasn't really able to save the glue all around. Let me see if I get this out of the way. Maybe I can salvage some of the glue around here, double-sided tape actually. But yeah, and on the edges, look how thin it is. It's basically nothing. It's a bit annoying. I might do something that I highly do not recommend you to do, and use just some random glue to put this together. And I mean glue, not double-sided tape. I will just put a dab of glue here, one here, a few here, and that will hold this display in place, because yeah, there is no... look in here how this is smaller than 1 millimeter, this edge here. Focus, camera, focus. I have no chance of putting any sort of proper glue in there. So yeah, it is what it is. Let's do our best to put this thing in place. If it works, perfect. If not, well, at least I know I tried. The weird way, but I tried. And now with Q-tips and alcohol, I need to clean this edge all around, make sure there is no remaining glue or tape or whatever on it. So this is going to be fun, isn't it? Yeah, you can see the remaining of tape gathering here. So let me do this off camera. The frame is cleaned, and now let's put this home button in place, and at least it was supplied with the proper glue on it. So I just need to remove the protection film and hopefully put it back in place and be done with it. If I could actually manage to get it in the proper position, that would be awesome. And not sure if it should go over or under, but I'm thinking that under that thing. Yeah, seems good for the moment. Yeah, and my camera focuses only when it wants or what it wants, whatever. Okay. Make sure it's glued all around. Yeah, and it's not moving. It's not moving anywhere. I was actually wrong. The order is in reverse. But this thing actually should go quite far away in there. If I'm looking at the other one, you can see it's bent from that level. So not sure what's up with that, but this thing probably should bend right around there somewhere. Yeah, remains to be seen. Okay, the display seems to be glued in place. This thing seems to be a little bit off axis, so I will see what I can do to correct that. Okay, now we are good. Honestly, I want to tell you that if you end up needing to do this, I don't think I will do it the second time. One, this display is not original, so who knows how and if it will work actually. This phone has quite a weird way of having everything connected. Yeah. Anyway, I started doing it, so I am finishing, obviously. But yeah, and try to find some double-sided tape, but you will not be able to put it on the sides. The gap is just too small. You will just be able to glue the top and the bottom, and anyway, whatever. Again, I am finishing what I started, but who knows if this phone will actually work or not. And I just realized that this thing popped out of here. Anyway, I will make sure it stays in place when I put back the frame. I think some of the PCBs should be already in here when putting back the frame. So yeah, let's do that now and see how that goes. These PCBs have pinholes on them. You can see down there two pinholes. So you need to align them by those holes and then glue them in place, because normally there is a bit of glue remaining around here, but not a lot. Hopefully enough to hold them until you start closing this thing. Yeah, it seems until now everything is going back. Do not push on them, because as you can see they are lined with little antennas. So if you push on those and bend them, something will not work on your phone. And we are ready to start connecting all the little cables, and after that we put this thing. But would I do this again? Hell no. No, not worth it at all. And maybe this thing isn't even working properly, who knows. I'm sorry, but I'm unable to film this. I need to bring this at eye level and try to look in there while pushing the PCB to connect to those connectors for the flex foils. This is extremely weirdly designed in my opinion, but yeah. Okay, connected all the flex foils. PCBs seem to be in place. Battery is still not connected. I connected this cable for the headphones and notification LED, cable for the main camera. Still need to put in the secondary camera or the front facing camera, whatever you want to call it. Connected this cable for the antenna here and on the underside. Connected the two long flexes, one for this PCB and the second one for the display itself. Here is connected already the fingerprint or the home button. Yeah, that one right there connected once again. That comes from the underside, and then anyway, I think those are all. I hope those are all. Yeah, this phone, this is a pain. And now I'm going to put this thing back in place, but be very careful. The cable itself, this one for the antenna, in this area needs to go over, not under, because we have a screw in there. So it has a weird way, something like this, as you can see. And yeah, start pushing everything in. Hope we don't break anything. Up until now it seems to be going in. I didn't even pay attention if these buttons, although weirdly enough I think they go in by themselves when you push this thing. Yeah, and it seems to be locked in place. The battery, I don't like it. It's a bit crooked. It's a bit like that. Now it's straight. And start putting in screws in the frame, and then I will try to power on the phone and see what we get. The screws from the frame itself are these tiny black ones. They are, I don't know, here, and 3 on the other side, or maybe even 4, but not sure which ones of them. This one I don't think I need to put now. That one will be when I also put this cover, so that's going to be a pain. Okay, so this thing powered on, touch is working, but the screen is really dim, even if it's at the max level, and it seems it doesn't actually do anything when I move the slider. So this could be a really bad quality screen in the end. Touch seems to be a bit off, not exactly where you press it. Yeah, touch seems to be a little bit off, not exactly where you press it, but the screen being this dim, and it's not this foil, it's just a dim screen, makes it almost unusable. So I'm going to try unplug the screen from the motherboard, plug it back in and see if that changes anything. Maybe some pins are not making contact, I hope. If not, well, that sucks, but nothing that I can do. Just try and get a good quality screen, or don't even bother fixing this in case you get this problem. Let's see this button. Yeah, it seems to be working. But the glass on this screen is thicker than the original one, so the button is really deep in there. You almost cannot touch it with your finger, so no, I don't like this at all. Okay, nothing that I can do. This is just a really shitty display, as this battery, but at least this battery kind of holds the charge. What I can say is F China, and they're really crappy shit clones that they sell as original, because I searched for original, and the guy selling this in my country had it listed as original, and displays identical to this one on eBay were listed as original, and they are not, obviously. So yeah, this battery was listed as original, and cannot be removed. Really? That's original? You can't even write proper English. Whatever. Yeah, I'm just annoyed. I will just put everything, the covers and all the screws, nothing else that I need to do at this point, and then continue the video. Final step of this journey. Let's put this thing back in place and hope at least one or two clips are still available and working. Oh man, this thing doesn't want to clip in here. It's been used and abused so much that it just refuses to go in here. Or actually, yeah, it does, it goes in here somewhat. Yeah, and the back is on, and let's power this thing for one last time, and hopefully the screen is magically bright. Okay, and this will end the video. Screen still dim, and yeah, that's it. It's a crap screen, nothing more, nothing less. It just goes to whatever it can and doesn't allow you to actually change the brightness. Or maybe it's a broken screen, but whatever, that doesn't mean anything to me at this point. Yes, you could potentially use this phone if you really wanted to, but if you try to use it outside, lots of cursing probably will occur. And yeah, that's about it. Locked in place. I just need to put the SIM and get the data from this phone, because will not use this anymore. Anyway, and that's about it. If you attempt to do this, be very careful on what you try to put in here, because it might just not worth your time. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.